Good evening, all. Welcome to a new season with the CXR League. This season, back to an old favourite, the GTEs. Fourth time we've done it, and we have 45 drivers, I believe it is tonight, which we've managed to split into two classes. So good things await us. As usual, I've got Phil and Ruben in the commentary box with me.
Evening.
Good evening, Ruben.
Hey, guys.
Good evening, Phil. And tonight we've got race control. We've got three guys going to be whizzing through the cameras as the race goes on, and that'll be Neil, Aaron, and we've got a new addition, Craig, in there as well. So hopefully that'll keep things nice and smooth. Tonight, round one, Silverstone GP, nice and simple. Track conditions 22, a bit optimistic for this country, but there you go. Welcome all. We've got a lot of new names, a lot of people we've not seen before. So, like I say, might have to bear with us tonight. It's going to be a busy one.
Yeah, apologies for the slight delay in the start of the stream. I started with a power cut, and then when I came back online, I then couldn't actually start the stream, which was nice. So yeah, we are going to be underway for the GT Pro qualifying any second now. We've already had the AMS qualify. A quick look, they all put in. So Ben Johnson puts himself top of the leaderboard there for the GT AMS. We've just got a few minutes until the GT Pros can go out. And then we should be able to, we'll be bringing the race in about 12. Ticked up in the last few minutes.
Now keep your language. But I know how frustrating it can be. But anyways, yeah, to talk about a little bit about CXR season GTE 4. Already it's number 4. I mean, in the last couple about, I think it's been a year and a half now, something like that, Phil, that we started with the GTE season.
I would probably say it has been about a year and a half since it's been a long time since we've done the GTEs, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. And especially since we've got 50 drivers signed up. I think there's 45 in the session now. I know a few couldn't make the session, so for them, obviously, because they're going to drop some points, but obviously we're all looking forward to the race in about to. So, I reckon we've got 30 seconds until we start the GT Pro qualifying.
Yeah, it's 50 signups, and I mean, it was realized in like a week, I think, most roughly, or maybe a little bit longer, but 50 signups. I think it wasn't really what we would have expected. Yeah, we would have expected it to be something that people would like, because GTE seems to be the type of car that's been driven the most on our racing. But 50 signups, I wouldn't expected it at all. But then again, I'm really looking forward to it. Big field, nice, well placed over the pros and AMs. So expect a lot of battles to go on. There were some rulings put up, I feel, I don't know if you are able to explain a couple of them.
Well, no, I mean, there were just some guidelines for the cars going out for the first race. Obviously, try not to be too aggressive on the first lap. Everyone wants to make the first lap and obviously make a good race from it. So, we're doing the normal iRacing rules for rolling start. Everyone goes on green whenever the actual pole sitter decides to race. And yeah, we're looking currently at Torres for the R70 team, the yellow Porsche. Just watch these guys go out on their outlap. We've got some new cameras as well for this. We've done a deal with Track Cams 22. They're the guys who provide all the official cameras for Race Spot and all the. That's a bit. His engine's just cut out. Yeah, they provide all the track cameras for all the major events, etc. So now they're going to be providing cameras for us as well. So you can actually see down below in the stream, you can see a link to a website. Check out the cameras. Also type explanation cameras, and that'll provide you with a nice little link as well. So I thought I'd just mention that since that's something new. Wait for these guys to actually start putting in some times, and we can start following some guys on track.
See a lot of Porsches, BMWs, a couple of Fords.
Yeah,
not quite sure. Do we have any Ferraris in here?
We do have some Ferraris. We do have some Ferraris. There's one of the CXR. Am stickers on though, so I'm gonna have to update his livery. Should be in the pros, but he is pro. Never mind. Am sticker on the side of his car.
Good.
Nice.
See some colourful wheels on the Porsches.
I was just about to say some nice little white rims there on Duncan Kirby's car.
I must say it can't match the green I use, so but hey, it is what it is. I know you like those colourful wheels.
Yeah, and we do have a few Fords. We do have a few Fords as well in the in both categories.
So since we last been to GTEs, has there been much in terms of balance of performances and things like that? I remember the Fords were sort of...
Yeah, the Fords were... cheers for the follow, Carlos RU97.
Yeah, cheers for the follow.
Yeah, there has been some updates for the Ford, because the Ford was a little bit OP, and then all of a sudden they changed a little bit of the drag. So I believe it is now slightly slower, but it is a strong performer at Silverstone. So yeah, we could see some Fords near the top. A lot of people have gone for the Porsche and the BMW though, so just for the follow Anaconda Power.
What about your Fezzer then?
You know what it is with iRacing? They over the year they always seem to balance out cars, almost like it's a sort of market strategy, if you want to say it like that. There was a time that the Porsche was one of the better cars in the game. Then it was the BMW, then it was the Ferrari, and now the Ford lately had some changes to it. Yeah, all in all, they always seem to balance it through a year. And then, of course, we're always looking forward to see if a new car will arrive. For the GTs, I'm not quite sure if there's anything new coming.
I believe that the Aston Martin is about to arrive in the GT category. Ooh. They're keeping it very close to their chest, though. I read today that there's going to be three new road cars. And I believe there's going to be 3 new oval cars. We've already seen that one is going to be the Ford F-150. So I'm quite excited about that. I do like driving a Ford. But yeah, the Aston Martin would be a nice addition. I think the BMW GT4 is also going to be an addition. So that'd be a nice little add-on to the IMSA Pilot series.
Oh, that's very nice. But anyway, it's still good to see that we've got all the GTEs on track. That it's not spread out over only 2 brands, like the Porsche or the BMW or the Ferrari or the BMW, whatever. It seems that people really have put time in practicing different cars to see what car suits the best. And yet we will see over the entire season who comes first in both categories, so the pros and the AMs. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. And in the meantime, we see that some of the pro guys are putting their times in. We've got about 5 minutes left of qualifying. At this point, it's Ismail Martel with a 155.694, who is on pole position.
And thank you for the follow, Ivy Boom. Welcome all. Quite a lot of new faces actually to this league. So quite a lot of new followers as well, so it's good to see, and hopefully we get some good racing here at Silverstone. One of the best circuits for, well, in a British opinion, one of the best circuits in the world. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. Let's have a look. the full calendars. Hopefully it brings it up. So this week we're at Silverstone GP. Next week we're at Interlagos. Week after that, Road America, and then Barcelona Historic, followed by Nürburgring, the Bezweck layout, Sebring International, Monza GP, and Daytona Road Course. So quite a good selection, I would say, of tracks. Especially
different type of tracks.
Yeah, so. Especially for GTE cars. So it should be quite fun. There's no short tracks in this.
I'm almost feeling sorry that I didn't choose to drive myself. Looking at the calendar, there are quite some good tracks on there, but hey, it is what it is. On the other hand, I don't have to deal with the stress of doing the best I can during the race. I can sit nice and comfy in my chair, just commentate about all the other stuff going on track. So always nice, but yeah, a very nice looking calendar there.
Yeah, and look at that time from Ismail Martel. Currently sat in pole position with a 155.694. That's faster than we saw in his practice session. So I think he was doing quali runs in practice towards the end, but I'm not too. I don't think he went that fast.
He's just like 100ths of a second slower, almost 200ths of a second slower than his time in practice. So he's very close to putting in the same lap time. Maybe it's nice to get a little bit of onboard camera action if that's a possibility, Phil.
As he stops on track. No.
Right. Well, you still have about half a second gap to, if I'm seeing it right, Andres Fernandez. In third place, we've got Mark Dejado, and fourth, Jaime Dalmas Torres, a name is pretty familiar to us. In fifth, we got Morgan Thompson. Sixth, Tony Blanco. Seventh, Augustin Vera Blanco. While somebody just puts in a quickly better lap time, and that's Marco Sauzo, if I'm saying that correct.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of names today where we're going to have to, we're probably going to struggle with saying half of them, but that's just the...
I'm already apologizing.
Yeah, that's the British-Dutch translation into Spanish. It's not, it doesn't really work all the time, does it? So
it doesn't. No, and especially if on iRacing it shows like Marco Prado, which is a little bit easier to say than Suazo.
I think we'll just go with
Yeah. Well, then we've got 8 and 9 Blanco.
That is true. Nice. We've got the double Blancos. I don't know whether they're brothers. They could be brothers. Maybe they don't know each other at all, and it's just a coincidence that they are within a tenth of each other.
Yeah.
It's the same person driving it simultaneously in 2 years. It's that talented. We're coming up to the end of quali now, I take it. 10 seconds to go, so if they can cross the line, they'll get
if I can say one funny thing though, I'm looking at car number 103, and that's a familiar name. Last weekend we did the 24 Hours of Daytona for the IWEC series. And car number 103 is Pablo Prado, and I raced him myself during the 24 hours. Must say, good driver, very clean, hard to overtake, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, funny to see familiar names. Of course, there are a lot of other familiar names from the earlier GT4 seasons or MX5s, or even the GTE leagues we had before. So, that's qualifying done.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of GT pros. Mixed with GT AMs at the moment as well, so this could be interesting for the start of the race. Duncan Kirby still out on a lap, hopefully. Well, he's hoping to obviously get a little bit further up with P13 where he currently sits on track. I think it. Yeah, so we'll have to watch Duncan Kirby complete his lap. No, he's not going to complete this lap. It's decided to bail out on it. So hopefully we can bring you qualifying. And now I'm just waiting for them to come through on my screen.
Can I leave those to Mark for a quick little second? Yep.
Yeah, no problem. You go to the toilet, it's fine. He obviously does want to try all the new names.
What it is? You don't want to see whether you get all the names incorrect. Out. Find results.
Well, I can go through them on my list if you prefer.
The follow is Giannis.
Well, they're gonna grid up before we get our results through.
Looking that way, isn't it? I'm still waiting to get the.
Well, I'll start running through my little list then. So on pole, Ismael Martel with 155.6. Andres Fernandez in second. Di Haro in third. Torres in fourth. We've got another Di Haro, Pablo Aspes, in fifth. Morgan Thompson sixth. Suazo in seventh. Daniel Hernandez, unfortunately, I can't see the end of his name on the timing screen, in eighth.
Vigario, so I can now bring you the qualifying for the pro, and there we go. Now you can go for them properly.
Oh, okay. Right, so we got, where was I? Up to eighth. I'm going to speed through it quickly. So Marco Suazo, seventh. Daniel Gallan in eighth. Tony Blanco in ninth. Augustin Blanco in 10th. Carlos Pascual in 11th. Benitez in 12th. Duncan Kirby 13th. Phillips in 14th. Adam Southgate 15th. Elmar Noteboom, God, that's a good name, 16th. Jamie Fierro in 17th. Caballero in 18th, Neil Middleton 19th, Borja Garcia 20th, and Torres, which I think is probably Little Torres or something, in 20th. Then over to the amateurs who qualified first. Ben Johnson with his maiden pole, Pablo Prado in second, Sedgley in third, Santa Baya in fourth, Acton fifth, Smart sixth, Merchant seventh, Eisner 8th, Pui's 9th, Rutan 10th, Polestra 11th, Bosch 12th, Chanigny 13th, Owens 14th, last season's champion Chris Needham, disappointing 15th there, Goodacre in 16th, Ben Charlton 17th, and Kenneth Andreasen 18th. I think there's another page, isn't there? Oh, there it is. Evers 19th, Hodges 20th, Hannington 21st, Gilly 22nd, Kieran Williams 23rd, and bringing up the rear, Paul Clist.
Ooh. That's a lot of names to go through.
Mate, I couldn't have done it any better, though. I couldn't have done it any better.
Right, so we're just waiting for the safety car to kick off.
Oh, it's a rolling start, isn't it?
It's a rolling start. We're just waiting for Ismail Martel would be the he'll be the guy deciding when we were actually starting the race. Hopefully we're hoping for a clean race. We've got race control, so things will be decided during the race, and hopefully we don't get too many things going on after the race. So just see this one kick off, and everyone sit back, crack a beer, and hopefully we're in for a good start to the race.
It's like, we're green.
Oh, it's gone half. A full lap.
Ooh, there we had a near slide already in the background. I think that was Daniel Hernandez. So far, so good. Whole field coming through. Nice. The big train of cars.
Oh, we got a spinner there at the back. I think that was one of the Escape VRT guys. Jose Calabero. Get that one out. But for the most part, pretty clean. I'm not sure whether he lost it himself. We're going to have to go back and look in.
so far so good. Martel still leading the way in front of Fernandez and De Hart. Torres following in P4, Espes P5 and Thompson in P6. Suazo P7, Blanco P8, Galan P9 and Pascual maybe in P10. And for the AMs it's still Johnson leading the way in front of a couple of pro drivers as well. I'm not quite sure who's P3, P3. There you go. Thank you, Phil. That's P2 is Mr. Sechley and P3 Prado. P4 Smart, P5 Santavaya, P6 Acton, and P7 Dennis Meissner. Still quite interesting to see. We're following Daniel Merchant, having a little battle with Flat Out Sim Racing. Mr. Klist, who's a first-time driver in the CXR leagues. Quite some battles going on track. Looking at a battle between
Morgan Thompson and
Prado.
Yeah, Pablo Espas.
Morgan Thompson.
Yep. We bring up the battle screen on for just to make it that little bit easier. I understand that normally we know every single driver on track just based on the fact that they're maybe up to 30, but when there's over 40 it gets a little bit complicated and you just don't really know where you're supposed to be looking. So yeah, we'll try and get a bit more information up on screen for everybody.
It seems like that the front three are pulling a little gap to P4, Mr. Torres. Although it's only about 1.5 seconds so far. We've got a 45-minute race, only 3 minutes underway, so still quite a long time to go.
Everybody has what was it, 40, I think it's about 43 litres of fuel, or 43% of the full tank. I believe, yeah, it's around about 43 litres. So everyone's going to have to at least make one pit stop. I don't imagine that anyone's going to have to make 2 pit stops, but we will see.
Evers and Meisner, I think, have gone off.
Collision there, that has been a little bit push.
A little touch on the back and the car went. And it seems like Morgan Thompson is now trying to get P5 from Mr. Espes, BMW versus the Porsche. And you see another nice little battle between Duncan Kirby. It's just a lot going on track at the moment, but so far it all seemed to be pretty respectful on track, which always is very nice to see and what we want to see. So awesome stuff.
On notification, our amateur pole sitter has gone off track as well. That's what seems to be happening.
Have a look. We can also take a look. So some of our drivers do actually have video on as well. Let's have a look. What Elmar Nogu is that in the dark though. I'm not sure whether that's really going to help his VR be able to cope with all of the.
Yeah, I know that struggle. You do want to have to turn the lights on, even though it's still light in the room, because once it gets dark, then it's not going to help the VR experience at all. And we see a little bit of a slider in the background there.
On Shannon 8 as well with his camera on. I think we've got Kieran Will camera on. So we keep on wrong livery. There we go. It's just taking a while to update, but yeah, Kieran Williams there battling away. Probably at the back, but yeah, if I know Kieran, he's just happy to be racing.
And that's what it's all about, just enjoying it, having fun. In the meantime, I'm watching a battle between Elmar Noteboom and Jose Caballero, who seems to go for an overtake on Benjamin Johnson on the inside of Stowe. And he gets the move done. So, well done by Jose Caballero against Benjamin Johnson. Benjamin Johnson was looking to maybe tuck on the inside there, but not gonna work. And Jose Caballero immediately is on the back of Juan Manuel Santabaya. And again, it's BMW versus BMW, so he's trying to push through.
I had one of the Porsche. I think that was Elmar Noteboom. Just had a. Go back and have a little look at whatever happened there. I think he might have just lost the back end going around the final corner. Yeah, he has. It's
maybe took too much of the inside curb.
He's managed to save it out of the wall though, so he's done quite well to save that one.
Little touch. Seemed like a little touch in the wall, but so far so good. Did a great job.
Amazing to see so many cars going around Silverstone.
Overrated circuit.
It's a very nice circuit.
It's all right. A bit overrated for what it is. But yeah. So Martel's currently leading from start to currently 3.5 laps in, just over, and he's also posted the quickest time of 1:56 dead at the moment. What was the quali? It was 1:55, mid 1:55s.
Yeah, 1:55.629 to be exact.
Ooh, check you.
We do see that Mr. Torres is trying to chase down Mark Dejado. I said Behard earlier, so my bad. I said that wrong. It's Mark Dejado, who's currently in P3 in the pros and overall. Mr. Torres, like I said, is trying to chase down, and there we see the fastest lap currently being set by Mr. Martel as well. On the other hand, Morgan Thompson dropped a place. He's now currently in P7, and he's got Blanco and Gallon right behind him. So that's another nice battle we have to keep an eye on. It's just hard to follow everything.
Yeah, there's so many battles going on, but that's what we wanted to see. I mean, yeah, you don't want that maybe like lull that happens later on in the race where everyone's a little bit spread apart. I think with 50 cars on track, I don't think we're going to have that little break that we've maybe had in the GT4s. So this is going to be action-packed throughout the season.
Well, looking at the top 7 of the AM category, Smart, Johnson, Acton and Ruiz, they are all within a second of each other, and that's all for P4 in the AM championship. So, yeah, I have to agree on you with that one. We've got so many drivers on track. It's hard to imagine that there isn't going to be any battle on track, whatever or how far we are in the race.
Currently top 15, which is the top third of the field, all currently being occupied by pro drivers at the moment. Not a great deal changed position-wise from pole. We've had one go up and down, but top 5 haven't changed.
Daniel Sedgley leading the way in amateur class, the Flower Sim Sports. For those guys, Pablo Prado not too far behind.
Then I must say that I'm curious what happened to Johnson, because if I'm correct, he was the one leading the race in the beginning, so not
yeah, he
quite
had
sure.
an off track early on.
Oh, right, that's what you called. Yep,
yeah,
you're right.
I mentioned a little. I think it was lap 2, top of my head.
I think you're right.
I keep saying, Ruben, one day you'll learn.
Well, thank you.
It's like we're talking with, isn't it? Oh, I can't say that, can I? Fun and commit.
In the meantime, thanks for everybody following and watching this first race of the GTE Season 4 of the CXR community. If you want to be involved in any type of iRacing leagues in the future, head over to our Discord. And if you are already following, please press the follow button. We always appreciate it. And for everybody that is already following, thank you for that.
So meanwhile, on board with Dennis Miser, currently in 10th in the amateur. Oh, just switched to Tony Marceau there, who's 8th in the pros. Nice little train of 4 there. Have you got a slide shot, Phil, of the cars they're driving, or a little icon or something?
have available.
I'm a bit concerned I haven't seen a Ferrari yet.
Have a look. So, Ferraris. There's not any Ferraris in the top. So the nearest Ferrari is actually Neil Goodacre, currently sat in P30 or P12 amateur class. There we go. It's switched. We're just going to play. Maybe I need to reduce the file size. Yeah, some of the images, and maybe that'll help them play a little bit faster. I think they were probably a little bit too big, but I'll fix them.
Let's get the car on the track.
Like Jason Haddington's had a bit of a spin. Not like the front end of that car is looking too healthy. Back up and running, just going to try and maybe make to his pit position. It looks like we've got Dion Phillips going for a move on Adriano Ramos Benitez. Can't find his way around there though. He's going to have to maybe wait. Oh, he just slightly stick the nose up on the inside. There's definitely plenty of room there left by Benitez, so maybe look for that move at the next available opportunity.
And another battle that's going on in the meantime is the battle between Miles Owens for flat out sim sport against Rene Borsche, who's driving for the CXR Academy. It's a nice battle between a BMW M8 GTE and the Porsche RSR GTE. I was trying to put pressure on Rene. Rene seemed to make a little mistake. Well, a little bit of contact. Still all fair.
On a Shannon, it's just had a bit of a spin. We've got to take a little look at a replay. Breaking into the corner. Not sure who the CXR driver was behind, but he's just managed to avoid that little spin.
Well, I did a good thing to just wait for a couple of seconds before returning on track, or to decide what he did to do, though.
We'll see if anything's actually come in or applied yet. It hasn't.
So we got quite some nice battles going on. At the front though, it's Martel still leading the way, and he's now created a gap of almost 4 seconds to Fernandez, who in his turn is about 4.5 seconds in front of Tejado, with Torres still chasing down under a second, but not really seem to be able to close the gap down further and really go for the or try and start to battle for P3 overall and P3 in pros as well. Morgan Thompson still battling it out with Blanco and Gallon, as we see right here on screen. I think they're already close, racing close for like the 50 minutes that we are racing. We still got 30 minutes to go. What do you reckon we're going to see the first pit stops, Phil, Mark?
I would have said around 20 minutes is my guess on
I think a little bit later. I'm going to say around about the 28-minute mark. That would be my guess. I think it was about a 20 stint when I did a little bit of testing practice. See Morgan
is that
Thompson.
The opening of the window or the ending of the window?
That'll be around about the end of the window, I think.
So it could well be, yeah, it could well be starting around the 21st minute sort of thing. I wonder, what's the spread for the pit window? Would you say 2-3 laps?
Yeah, it's only going to be about 2 laps. I mean, you probably don't want to leave it too. Obviously, with a 45-minute race, if it's 28 minutes, you're only looking just over the 22-minute mark before split. So,
excellent. I just noticed, is Mr. Slaymaker not participating this season?
Fortunately, last minute work came, had to take care of it.
Is he registered then, or?
Yeah, he's registered for the season, so yeah, he'll be here
this
from next week.
Must be the man with the most air miles in the world.
Very true.
We just had a little bit of an incident in the background, though. I'm not quite sure who it was. You can see something going on just before turn 3.
I think that was.
It was Mr. Swazo.
So he maybe received a tap in the back. I'm not entirely sure. Like, race control should be looking at that one.